Cheers to my musical introduction to this video. Okay then, you all know why we're here. We're continuing this Blu-ray collection video of mine. I did the numbers and the A's in the last video. Check that out if you haven't. So let's get right to it with the B's. The B's, not the B's. I don't own that. I don't own the Wicker Man, don't worry. I did own it on DVD, even though I got rid of it. Starting off the B's, anyway, is the Babadook. With a very nice slipcover. Only seen this once. Need to rewatch it. From what I remember, I really enjoyed this film. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I can't remember too much really about it as such, but I do remember really enjoying it. Remember there being some creepy imagery. I remember there being a very good performance by Essie Davis, that's her name. And I'm looking forward to what Jennifer Kent's doing next. She's got a film coming out this year, I believe. Or like it's doing the festival circuit about now. Like it was in the Venice Film Festival, I believe. But yeah, The Babadook, really good film. A horror film that I think a lot more horror filmmakers should can learn from. But yeah, The Babadook. The next Blu-ray that is within my collection is Baby Driver. I was kind of wanting the steelbook of this initially, but you know what? This edition isn't too bad. I love this film. I thought it was an absolute blast. I love the music, editing. It's probably one of Edgar Wright's strongest films. It's either that or The World's End, which are my two favourite Edgar Wright films. If you want my more in-depth thoughts on Baby Driver, I did do a Let's Discuss with Sophie on this film, so I'll leave a link in the description if you want to see my more in-depth thoughts on Baby Driver. But overall, love the film. The next Blu-ray I've got is Baraka, which is a documentary which I haven't seen yet. It looks gorgeous. But yeah, haven't seen it yet, and I'm looking forward to eventually watching this film. Next, okay, we're on the Batman section now. We're on the next ones are some Batman animated films, and the first one I got to show is Assault on Arkham. I think this is a very fun film. The better Suicide Squad film we've had. I've yet to see Suicide Squad Hell to Pay though, so yeah. And yeah, I love the fact this is set in the Arkham universe. Brilliant. I love the art. I love the idea of it. I think a lot of people overhype this film when it's a good film, but I think a lot of people put it as high up there as like something like Mask of the Phantasm. Some people talk about this film just as much as they talk about Mask of the Phantasm, and I don't think it's that good, but I do think it's a very fun time, especially if you're a Batman fan, and especially if you're a fan of the Arkham games, definitely. Next one is Batman and Harley Quinn. This one is the most recent addition within the DC animated universe. The first one in over 10 years, maybe about 14 years, I think. First one in a while. I've not seen this one yet, but I'm looking forward to because I love the animated universe. I love the animated series. Mask of the Phantasm, Batman Beyond Return of the Joker. I love it. Sub-Zero, I really like that. So I'm looking forward to watching this eventually. The next one's a recent one, and it is Batman Gotham by Gaslight. This one's good. I enjoyed this one. This one is just a one-off thing. It's Batman set in the Victorian era, and it's basically Batman v Jack the Ripper. Essentially, there he is. Good old Jack. I like the conclusion of this film. The animation's a bit, I don't know, it's a bit odd, I think. It's an interesting animation style. I remember when there was a video game that was meant to basically be this, or Batman versus Jack the Ripper, that never got made. And since then there's been like a lot of people like, oh, Batman versus Jack the Ripper, that would be cool. And you know, there was a short film made called Ripper about it, you know. And then this came out. I was like, okay, yeah, I'll give this a watch. And I don't love this film, but I do enjoy it. And what's special? It's got audio commentary with Bruce Timm, which will be great, and other producers, and a sneak peek at Hell to Pay, Suicide Squad Hell to Pay. So yeah, enjoyed the film. Nothing incredible, but it's worth a watch, and especially since it's an hour and 18 minutes. It's fine for that length of time. Now, on to the next one, which is Batman, Return of the Caped Crusaders. I had a blast with this. I thoroughly enjoyed this. This is like a brilliant sequel to Batman the movie, the 1966 film with Adam West and Burt Ward. And the fact this had Adam West and Burt Ward in it, voicing their characters, which was great. A load of fun. Out of the Batman animated films I have on Blu-ray, this might be my favourite one. It's so much fun. It's the perfect sequel to Batman the movie. So if you want to watch Batman the movie and then go on to like another film, then this is great. It'll be Batman the movie, then Return of the Caped Crusaders. Really fun film. And the sequel to that, which is Batman vs. Two-Face, which has William Shatner as Two-Face. The sequel to Return of the Caped Crusaders. So in that sense, Batman the movie, Return of the Caped Crusaders, and Batman vs. Two-Face makes up for a pretty fun trilogy of campy Batman films. Yeah, a load of fun. Again, this was fun in the sense of like Two-Face was never in the 60s show because Two-Face wasn't the character of Two-Face wasn't created. It was created after the 60s show happened. So what a brilliant way to introduce Two-Face into the 60s universe with this film and have William Shatner as Two-Face. And they animated Harvey Dent, how Two-Face, how William Shatner would have looked in the 60s. And man, it's a very fun film. And I believe Adam West's final film role, and Hal Fitton is the voice of the Caped Crusader. It has a nice thing at the end of like, in memory of Adam West, which which tugs on the heartstrings a bit. But yeah, Batman vs. Two-Face these two films, really fun, highly recommended. And I need to have like a triple bill of Batman the movie, Return of the Caped Crusaders versus Two-Face. Very fun films, I highly recommend those. And the next one I've got is The Beguiled, Sofia Coppola film. Now, I wasn't really hyped going into this film. Sophie was the one actually more so insisting on watching this film. And I think it was on like for an offer in HMV last year. And I thought, oh, why not? And we can tick a 2017 film off our list. And I was kind of skeptical because it's a period piece. I was like, not really hugely... I'm not a big fan of period piece dramas, really. And I ended up really enjoying this film. It's weird. It doesn't do... I mean... It's not a film that your nan would probably really like. It's almost like kind of how 500 Days of Summer, how that kind of did a bit of tinkering with the rom-com genre. This film kind of does a bit of tinkering with the period piece drama genre. It's got Colin Farrell, who is like one of my favourite actors. I love Colin Farrell. Nicole Kidman, who's great in it. Kirsten Dunst, who I'm not usually a big fan of, but she was really good in this. And Elle Fanning, who I've become quite a bit of a fan of. The cinematography in this is just wonderful as well. It's really nice cinematography. The costumes, the sets, all really good. There's something about this film that's just very like hypnotic in a way. And like it's like a calm hypnotism almost, I guess is the best way to describe it. I don't know. The best thing I can say is just to give this a go. If you don't like period piece dramas, this might be the one for you. This might be the period piece drama where you're like, oh, that film. Again, the cover makes it look all like, oh, all romancy and artsy fartsy, and it's got a bit of an artsiness to it, but it's not pretentious. It's an interesting one. I do like The Beguiled. I do recommend The Beguiled to people. On to the next Blu-ray, and that is Big Hero 6, the steelbook of it, with some cool imagery from the film. What's wrong? Oh, it's me. It's my cinema ticket. But yeah, and then you got Baymax there, hugging the, if you can see, the hairy baby. Hairy baby. Hairy baby. Hairy baby. It's a load of fun. I really like this film. It's probably my favourite Disney Marvel film. Even though it's not in the MCU, but it's a Disney film based on a Marvel property. So thus, best Disney Marvel film. And the second best Stan Lee cameo. Third best Stan Lee cameo. I still think my favourite Stan Lee cameo is in Mallrats. And another great Stan Lee cameo is in Teen Titans Go to the Movies. That's a excellent Stan Lee cameo. I think this film's a load of fun. It's got great heart to it. I think I prefer this better than Wreck-It Ralph, personally. The visuals are beautiful. I love like the setting of San Francisco. I love that, of San Francisco and Tokyo. I love that combination of things. I really want them to do a sequel because, again, such a blast of a film. Not like it's got predictability to it, but I think it does well with the predictability. And I did a review of this when I went to see it, so if you want more in-depth thoughts from myself about Big Hero 6, links in the description for my review on Big Hero 6. The next Blu-ray is Birdman. That almost flew out. Look at that. And this one is HMB exclusive packaging and art cards. So does this have art cards in it? I can't remember if it did. Yes, it does. There's my ticket. It's hiding below the UV. So it's got. I haven't opened these, of course, but like that's a beautiful post. I would have that hung up. I adore this film. I think it's incredible that 2014 was the year that we got Birdman and Whiplash. Like that's insane to me. But Birdman is an amazing film. I love it so much. I love everything about it. I love the score. I love the cinematography. I love the acting, the writing, the directing, the sets, even the costumes. Everything's so good in this film. And I did a review on this. So if you want my more in-depth thoughts on Birdman, links in the description for my review on this film. Great film. Absolutely excellent film. The next film has got a link to Birdman because it's the same director, Alejandro Inarritu. It's beautiful. Javier Bardem. The only Inarritu film which I haven't seen yet. Will eventually watch this. So yeah, can't say too much about it. Looking forward to it though because I love Javier Bardem and I love Alejandro Inarritu. So looking forward to beautiful when I get to watch that film. The next Blu-ray I've got here is Blade Runner, the final cut. I almost said Birdman, the final cut. Imagine that. Blade Runner, the final cut. The first time I saw this film was last year. It was an hour before I went to see Blade Runner 2049. First time I ever saw this film was an hour before I went to see the film. Went to see the sequel to the film. I remember first viewing it, not really enjoying the film at all. Like I was like, Like, I just have to face the fact I don't like Ridley Scott. I don't like this film. I like it visually, but I'm not fussed on it. I love the score though. Vangelis' score is beautiful. I would get that on vinyl. That's a great score. But since watching this and Blade Runner 2049, I've been thinking about this. I'm like, God, I would want to watch this film again. Like, it's one of these films that does get like stuck in my mind almost, and I think about it. I'm like, I would really like to watch that again. Like, so yeah, one day I will rewatch Blade Runner, the final cut, because I think it's like official that this is just the official version of the film. Like, the theatrical and the director's cut isn't like canon, but this is. I think 2049 does count. I don't know. I've only seen this version. I've only seen it once, so I don't know if there's that much of a difference in terms of story. But anyway, Blade Runner, the final cut, and continuing on from that, Blade Runner 2049. I did enjoy this film more than I enjoyed Blade Runner. Denis Villeneuve, one of my favourite directors, has a lot of my favourite people in this. I love Ryan Gosling, love Ana de Armas, love Jared Leto, and I don't mind Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford's cool. Roger Deakins, cinematography, gorgeous, just God, such a brilliant. Like, he's my favourite cinematographer, and this is like so good. The score by Hans Zimmer, and it's Benjamin. Is it Whittaker or something like that? Benjamin Wallfish did a great score, fantastic score, and yeah, I do want to watch this again. This one I've been thinking about more. I enjoyed this film. I didn't love the film, but there's something about this film that I'm like, I need to go back to that. I need to rewatch that film at some point. I need to rewatch both of these films. Like, it would be like kind of back to back almost. But yeah, I wouldn't necessarily great films, but really good films. Really good films, especially on reflection. Next Blu-ray I've got is the Blair Witch Project, and this one includes 4 never-before-seen alternative endings only on Blu-ray. Yet to see them, yet to see what the alternative endings are. I love this film. First time I watched it, this was the first horror film I ever saw as well. I was like 17 when I first watched the Blair Witch Project. I stuck it on, it was daytime, and I was still really creeped out by the film. And 2 years ago, I rewatched this film in anticipation for Blair Witch, and I watched it in night time. Lights off, it was dark, and God, this film got under my skin. I still think this is the most superior found footage film ever. No competition, the best found footage film ever. I love, people complain that you don't see anything. That's what I love about it. It's so subtle, but it's so terrifying. It's one of the scarier films I've seen without there being much else to it. I'll probably end up talking more about this at some point in its own separate video, just talking about the Blair Witch Project. That will be a fun thing to do. Does this have any commentary? Discovered footage, theories on Blair Witch, directors and producers commentary, 4 never-before-seen alternative endings, again that'll be interesting. Curse of the Blair Witch Legacy, and trailers. Interesting. I need to explore this Blu-ray more. But yeah, the Blair Witch Project. Loved the film. Excellent film. One of my favourite horror films. Next film I've got here is Blood Simple, which was a brand new restoration, and it's the debut film from the Coen brothers. Official director's cut. Haven't seen this film yet. Looking forward to watching it for the first time because I love the Coen brothers. I love The Big Lebowski and No Country for Old Men, which I do own, but on DVD, not on Blu-ray. But I'm looking forward to watching this film, their very first film. I've heard good things about this, and I just love that cover. Again, I don't know anything about the film, but that just looks so nice. It's Frances McDormand, who I'm a big fan of. But yeah, Blood Simple. Looking forward to watching that when I eventually do. Next one I've got is an Artificial Eye Blu-ray release, and that is Blue is the Warmest Colour with a Lot of Glare. Hang on. There you go. I think that's the... Yeah. I was planning on doing a review on this for Foreign Film Friday within the month of February, because I did Amelie and Amour, and I was going to do this film, and then since I had a broken foot, a lot of things just kind of fell to the wayside in terms of the YouTube channel. So I still haven't seen this yet, but it's been one of those where I've been excited to watch this. I love Léa Seydoux. I think she's a fantastic actress. I'm not from... Excuse me, pardon me. I'm not familiar with the other actress, Adele Exarch. I'm not going to even pronounce her last name, but I'm not familiar with her. But I'm looking forward to watching this when I eventually do, because from what I heard, it's just a very beautiful film, just a very well shot film, and just really good. And I'm into my foreign films as well. Next up on the Blu-ray collection, Boogie Nights, Paul Thomas Anderson's Boogie Nights, a standard edition. I kind of want to get a better edition than this. They had a cool looking steelbook, but I'm looking to get a better edition of this at some point. But Boogie Nights, Paul Thomas Anderson is one of my favourite directors. I've only seen this once, and it's been a very long time since I've seen it. I remember really enjoying it though. Rest in peace, Burt Reynolds, by the way. He was excellent in this film. Mark Wahlberg's best performance as Dirk Diggler. Philip Seymour Hoffman is great in it. John C. Reilly is really good as well. Julianne Moore, my favourite actress, great in it as well. And Paul Thomas Anderson, I just love the way he directs this film and the time period. Really good film, and a really fascinating look in the porn industry of the 80s. It's the 70s and the 80s, isn't it? 1970s, San Fernando Valley. So the 70s. I love the 70s in this film, and it's just a fascinating look of the porn industry in that era. And Paul Thomas Anderson did a wonderful job at directing a very classy film about this topic. Next film is Born on the 4th of July, Oliver Stone film with Tom Cruise. This is a HMV exclusive, an award-winning masterpiece. Have yet to see this film yet. I got it because I heard it's a great Tom Cruise performance. It interests me. I haven't watched an Oliver Stone film, even though I think he's a bit of a shithead. Just generally as a person, he just doesn't seem like a nice person, and stories I've heard about him haven't been great, but I've heard great things about the film, so I'm willing to watch the film. Because I am a fan of Tom Cruise as well, and I'm willing to see a really good performance from him. Right, next film I've got Boyhood. I want to get the Criterion Blu-ray, because the Criterion Blu-ray looks really nice in terms of packaging design. Boyhood's a really good film, very special film. A film that's not hugely rewatchable, and not really hugely eventful, but as I said in my review, I said it's one of these things you're enjoying it, you're kind of letting it happen as it's going on, but once the film finishes and you look back on the film, you remember to yourself, oh, that was very special, like you do with life. You go through moments in life that you don't think highly of at that moment, but once a few years pass and you look back at them, you go, oh yeah, that was a very special moment. Film does a great job at that. And yeah, I did a review on this, so if you want to know my more in-depth thoughts on Boyhood, links in the description to see my review for Boyhood. Not my favourite Richard Linklater film as well, but still a very ambitious and really interesting film. Okay then, down to the last two of the B's, and the next Blu-ray I've got is one of the cooler ones I've got, and I only bought it recently, The Breakfast Club. And this one is the HMV exclusive packaging to make it look like a VHS tape, which is so cool. Like, it's a part of their 80s range, and they've got other ones. They've got like they've got Back to the Future and Ferris Bueller's Day Off and E.T. and 48 Hours and other films. None of them really sprung out to me other than The Breakfast Club. The Breakfast Club's the only one that did spring out to me, and this comes with a poster. An 80s poster, which is cool as well. And a cool, and a few cool little art not art, like you got like a sticker there of like the crew with, of like the cast with John Hughes, and like this little trading card thing where it's like, chicks cannot hold their smoke, that's it. Fun little thing, Breakfast Club, with a little bit of trivia on it. Yeah, a really cool set. I kind of I want them to release more, and I think they are releasing more of like cool 80s films, so I can have more than just this. And of course you got the, hang on. And you got the Blu-rays, which are set like this, which I love. Yeah, I love The Breakfast Club. I recently rewatched the film about a week or two ago now, and I've seen it before. I saw it years ago, but I couldn't remember much about it. But I rewatched it with a group of friends, and loved it. We all really liked it, and I just loved it. I forgot how good it was. It's the strongest John Hughes film, I believe. I'll switch that around. Yeah, I think it's an absolutely really great coming-of-age film. It deals with adolescence very well. I think it represents them all very good. I love like the way how they like represent each social group and how they each interact with each other. Judd Nelson's fantastic in this. I really like everyone in this, to be fair. Like Judd Nelson, Molly Ringwald, Emilio Estevez, Anthony Michael Hall, and is it Ali Sheedy? I believe that's her name, Ali Sheedy. Yeah, it does have some problematic elements to it. If you haven't read Molly Ringwald's article on how The Breakfast Club is quite problematic, I do recommend giving it a read. It's a good read, but it's not attacking the film either. But I still really love this film, and I'm really happy with this edition of The Breakfast Club. So yeah, there you go, stacking up. And the final Blu-ray that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be a bit of an underwhelming end to this video because I haven't seen this film. It's The Brothers Bloom. The film Ryan Johnson did after he did Brick. I really want to see this film. It's the only Ryan Johnson film I haven't seen. I'm a big Ryan Johnson fan. I like Brick. I need to rewatch Brick. I love Looper, and I love The Last Jedi. Don't hate me. Last Jedi is a great film. But I'm looking forward to watching this because, you know, it's Rachel Weisz, Adrian Brody, Mark Ruffalo, and Rinko Kikuchi. She's in this. She's good. She wasn't good in 47 Ronin, but she's good usually. Oh yeah, looking forward to actually watching this because it looks like a good time. And yeah. So, there you have it. There has been my Blu-ray collection of The Bees. All the Bees. The next video, Blu-ray video that will be out, will be on The Seas. And yeah, so guys, thank you for watching. What are your opinions on any of the films that I mentioned, or like any of the editions that I got? So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I need a new drink of water because I'm out of water and I've got more videos to make about this, so cheers to that.